Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me Kagam. Okay, so in today's video we're going to do luxury hot topics. There are a bunch of hot topics that we're going to chat about. A lot of you were asking me about the new Chanel quota systems. We'll chat about that. I've also written a companion blog because you know how we do on this channel, honey. There's a companion post on my blog which is linked below. You can go read it if you don't have time to watch the entire hot topics video. So we'll talk about Chanel hot topics. There's some influencer hot topics, a bunch of things we need to talk about that. I think we'll stir up a lot of conversation and debate in the comments. So yeah, please make sure that you watch all the way until the end. And if you like what I'm doing, make sure you stick around and you subscribe and hit notifications. Some of you are being unsubscribed by YouTube, honey. That is what she does. So please subscribe, okay? Let's first start off with the new quota system from Big C, aka Chanel. What does all of this mean? How do you guys, feel about it and everything? So that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so basically the quota system is as follows. Starting on the 7th of June, 2022, there will be a quota system that will be started by Big C for the US. I was doing some more research into this. This looks like it's going into effect for North America, so the US and Canada for right now. And it will be 2 classics a year, so 2 classic flaps a year, any sizes, any colors. Apparently minis are also included in this. Now, let's talk about the classic flap. So this is the classic flap. Even though the trendy, the Coco handle, and the Chanel 19 and the boy bag are all considered classics of the brand, it doesn't look like they're affected by this for right now. But as you know, with Big C, everything is fluid. Things change, things go with time. They might decide, hey, we're going to add all of the classic bags to this like quota system. So what does this mean? How does this affect you? So yeah, I mean, it's fairly straightforward what it means. What it means is that starting, if you're shopping in the US, starting on the 7th of June, which by the way is quite clever because Métier d'Art launches in Paris on the next day on the 8th, and then it launches worldwide on the 9th of June. So 2 days before the Métier d'Art launch, you can only buy 2 classics a year. This is really smart on their behalf because there are a lot of classics coming for 22A that many people are excited about. There's that really beautiful purple classic that's coming. It's like a dark purple. There's also this like satin royal blue classic that's also coming. So they're making these changes because for a variety of reasons. So let's talk about why we think that they're making these changes. I believe that they're making these changes first of all to curb reselling of the classics, and I think that they are a very proactive brand. When I think of a brand that has taken on resellers, it's really Chanel. Chanel has put resellers on notice, boo-boo. Like, if you are a professional reseller of the Chanel house, like right now, you're in shambles basically, because I mean, what are you going to do? You as one person can only buy 2 classics a year unless you have like a big network of people, and they'll be able to figure out who those people are. They're very, very good at figuring out who's a reseller and who's not. This is going to affect personal shoppers, it's going to affect resellers, because Chanel really doesn't want their products being resold to people. They want clients to shop them in the boutique themselves, okay? So that's the first thing. The next thing is this is actually also about not having clients who are collectors at the brand. If you're a Chanel collector, don't be offended. You're balling, okay? I'm sure you're that cheap and you're making things happen. But Chanel doesn't really, I think, care about collectors in that sense of the word. Like, if you collect Chanel handbags or you collect Chanel Minaudières, but you don't buy their clothes, you don't buy their fine jewelry, you don't buy their watches, you've never considered even buying a couture piece, because at that financial level, there are a lot of you who can afford their couture pieces. Some of their couture starts at like, it depends, but some pieces are like, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 euros. Like, if you're someone who constantly buys Chanel bags because you collect them, you can definitely buy like a couture piece. And I think that's what they want. They want the people who maybe are Chanel collectors to buy other things from Chanel, and they don't want you to collect their handbags. Because they don't want you to collect their handbags, they have to put in policies that really turn people away from collecting Chanel bags and buying them every single season. There are a lot of people in Facebook groups who like see themselves as Chanel collectors, but not necessarily fans of the house and the codes of the house and the brand values of the house. I think there are many different types of Chanel collectors. I am in a ton of Facebook groups. I've really been observing there are varying types of Chanel collectors. They're the hardcore Gabrielle Coco Chanel fans who love her, love the brand, love everything that she stood for, you know, even though, you know, she's a very controversial character in fashion, but she did do things which definitely changed how women dressed forever. So, you know, Coco Chanel is credited, first of all, with creating the first ever high jewelry line. Coco Chanel is also credited with kind of creating this like very relaxed fit and relaxed cut for women's clothing in the 20s and in the 30s. That's credited to her as well, because before that it was like women were, you know, wearing corsets, everything was super rigid and structured. There's Chanel collectors who love that, who love the history of the brand, who love what the brand stands for, and who love what the brand creates today. And then there's Chanel collectors who only want to buy handbags. So you see a handbag, you like it because you want to add it to your handbag collection. I think what Chanel is basically saying is, look, you have the money, we're cool with that, but you need to buy other things. You need to buy ready-to-wear, you need to buy fine jewelry, high jewelry, couture. Like, that is what Big C is saying, and that is what she wants you to understand, basically. So the question here is, how do you guys like feel about that? How do you feel about these new limits coming? By the way, this is just, like I said, this is just for the US and maybe Canada. I was just doing research about that, but this is just for the US. So will this come into effect into Europe? Will this affect Europe? I think so. This is just affecting the US at the moment. This isn't affecting other countries, but will this come into effect for other countries? Yes. I believe that it will eventually affect France, which is obviously the home turf for Big C, a bunch of countries in Asia like Singapore, South Korea, China. I think it will affect those countries as well, and I also think it will affect the UK eventually, but not right now. They might just be testing it out to see how it does, like as a policy. Chanel is nothing if not proactive. They've got their ear to the streets. There are lots of Chanel employees in Facebook groups, honey. There are lots of Chanel employees in forums. They really keep their ear to the streets, and they want to see how people will react. So I'm sure that this is a fluid policy. It might be permanent. They might just try it out for a few months and decide that they want to scrap it and do something else. But broadly speaking, if you're someone who buys Chanel ready to wear, this is not going to affect you, because you are already doing what they want you to do. If you're someone who buys Chanel's fine jewelry, you're not affected. If you're someone who, oh my God, if you've bought like a high jewelry piece or a couture piece, like you're definitely not going to be affected by this. Like, you know, they're not going to like look at that. I don't think VVIPs will be affected by this, but I'm not sure about VIPs. Let's see how things go. But I generally speaking, I think anyone spending, you know, 100,000 euros a year, I think VVIP at Chanel is 150,000 US dollars a year for the US. I think if you're a VVIP, if you're spending $150,000 a year at Chanel, you're not going to be affected by this. You'll be buying all the classics that you want. I even think at $100,000 a year, and don't forget VIP spend at Chanel excludes handbags. I'm pretty sure that you'll be able to you know, get all the classics that you want. But I think if your spend is under 6 figures at Chanel, it will be 2 classic flaps a year. For me, I'm not big on the classics, so even if I lived in America and even if I was spending at that threshold, I don't feel like I'd be affected because I'm not really into the classic flaps. Some of you were asking me, like, how will this affect the seasonal bags moving forward? I think what this will do is it will create more competition for the seasonal bags. Like, more people now will be like, okay, I can't buy all these classic flaps. Let me go and see what seasonal pieces that they have. And now that actually kind of makes sense, because when I was looking at the USD prices for the Mété d'Art collection and for the euros, I remember being like, why is it so expensive for some of these seasonal bags? Like, some of the seasonals are like $6,000, like $5,000. Like, I was like, why are they, you know, so expensive? But now it makes sense because they have this new quota system. One of the things that I think is going to be happening is people are going to be moving over to these seasonal bags, and what this will do is this will create a lot of pressure, I think, for scoring seasonal pieces, particularly the ones that become unicorns. However, I think what that will also do is that like a lot of people feel like some of the seasonal bags can look really out of style like very soon, and they can look quite dated. Some of you have told me like, oh, that's why you prefer the classics. Well, now if you don't want to pay the premiums for the classics, and you don't want to you don't want to have that quota of 2 bags a year, like you'll have to buy the seasonal bags, and that means there'll be way more competition for the seasonal bags, and they're going to be much harder to get. Whereas before, most of the seasonal bags were on the shop floor, you could walk in, you could see them. I didn't see it coming that Big C would target the seasonal bags like this, but if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense, because now the seasonal bags are going up in value, basically in terms of how desirable that they look to clients, because now clients are going to be like, okay, I've hit my quota for the year, I'm not a VIP at Chanel, now I need to go buy a seasonal bag. So I think this is going to be very interesting to see how this moves forward. Chanel is a very proactive brand. Chanel knows what time it is, and Chanel makes things happen, and that's something that I like about Big C. If I compare her to Big H, I know you're going to be like, she's trying to be Hermes. Yeah, I don't know, I'm getting kind of tired of hearing that, because I feel like it's just the same old like thing of she's trying to be Hermes, she's trying to be Hermes. Chanel is not trying to be a brand that does not have good ready-to-wear. I don't think Big C is pressed or worried about being Hermes, and I've told many of you this before. Hermes does not own the idea of a quota system. Audemars do it, Rolex do it, Ferrari do it, lots of brands do it, Patek Philippe, they do it. First of all, Hermes actually, in the watch community, people say Hermes is copy them, okay? On this one watch video, there was some watch collectors commenting like, oh, this company Hermes has copied Rolex and AP. Like, Hermes did not create this concept of a quota system. It's nothing new in luxury. It's completely common. Lots of brands do it. Chanel is just getting in on the act. I'm not mad at them. To be honest, Louis Vuitton do a version of this as well with some of their most coveted drops and things. They only release like a certain amount, and then it goes to VVIP clients first, and then maybe there might be 1 or 2 that will be given to other clients who maybe aren't spending at VVIP level, and then if you don't get it, you don't get it, and there are a certain amount of supply, and once they give those out, they are done with it. So every brand has their own way of doing this. In my personal opinion, I'm just really impressed with the way Chanel moves. Like, Chanel is like an assassin, honey. Like, she just moves quietly. She does her thing. You don't have to agree. You don't have to like it, okay? But you're going to respect it. I think it's so sneaky to do this like just before the launch of Métier d'Art because Métier d'Art has got some gorgeous classics, and now people are going to be stuck at this 2 classics a year rule, which is going to be really interesting. Now we're going to see who is really a Chanel fan, who really loves this brand. Because if you love this brand, you're going to start finding clothes to buy. You're going to start finding fine jewelry to buy. Please don't be like, I'm going to Hermes. You're going to the land of 2-to-1 spending where you have to spend $20,000 in order to get a bag. Let me stop you right there, okay? I want to know what you guys think about the new Chanel quota rules. I'd love to chat to you guys about it. I want you guys to wow me with your points of view, and no one is allowed to say they're trying to be a mess. Tell me what you guys think without saying that, because I feel like everyone in the luxury community just says that because that's the trendy thing to say. Tell me what you think about this. Chanel are not improving how they change. They're not changing how they make their bags or anything like that. They're just changing how they sell them in the distribution. So I'd love to know what you guys think about that. You can go read about it on my blog, link below. Make sure you're fully subscribed to my channel and you hit notifications as well. Now let's move on to the next luxury hot topic. There are a lot of hot topics to discuss today. I'd love to know your opinion on this. Okay, so a few weeks ago when I did one of my hot topics videos, I referenced this British lifestyle influencer. She has a YouTube channel. She has like 900,000 subscribers. It should be clear who it is by now. So she basically, I think she got like a mini Kelly. So the video came up as recommended because again, I'm not subscribed to her channel, but her luxury unboxings always come up to me as recommended. I feel like YouTube just knows I don't want to watch people's vlogs, but I want to watch their hauls and unboxings. So she got the mini Kelly, but she didn't like explain if it was a resale offer or not. So I just fast forwarded to the unboxing of the bags. I just wanted to see what it was. And by the way, I don't just watch bag unboxings, I watch any luxury unboxing, I don't care what it is. But if it's like in someone's vlog, I'm not gonna watch like 40 minutes of, you know what I call it, like pouring tea into mugs and things like that. Like, I just want to see what you got. So I fast forwarded to the unboxing, and it was a mini Kelly, a really beautiful one in gold. Like I said, like, I actually like her. I think she's nice and she seems interesting and stuff. I just don't watch people's vlogs. I hope no one's offended. I'm not saying I'm better than other people. I can't watch like I can't watch like 50 minutes of someone vlogging like at home. I don't know, I just can't do it. And I know that my videos are long as well, so forgive me for that. Anyway, but she wouldn't say if the mini Kelly 2 was from the boutique or resale. So in the comments, a lot of people were asking like, did I miss it? Did you get it from the boutique? Did you get it at resale? I thought that this was a really interesting kind of thing for us to chat about. And please don't attack her in the comments. It's not like necessarily about her per se, because there are a lot of influencers and YouTubers who unbox Hermes bags and don't specify if they got it from the boutique or if they got it from resale or if they went to Paris to score the bag. There are many YouTubers, of course, who do say that they got it from the boutique or resale or Paris. So I wanted to ask you guys, like, why do you think some people don't want to say that they got it from a reseller? To me, the way I was watching her unbox it and the way she was talking about the item and the way she received the item, it wasn't from the boutique. That was just my gut feeling, my hunch, but I can't prove whether she got it from the boutique or not. And it doesn't even really matter. I'm super curious to know like what you guys think about this. I think for a lifestyle channel, her audience probably doesn't even really care that she didn't get it from the boutique or whatever, so maybe she doesn't feel like she needs to mention it. I think it's nice to mention if you got it from a reseller or from the boutique, because I think it helps to add realism, particularly for a bag like the mini Kelly, which is hard to get. I think it's nice, you know, if you say, hey, you know, imagine me coming on here and I get like a mini Kelly or a Kelly Pochette and I unbox it and I won't tell you if I got it from Paris, if I got it from the boutique, if my husband got it from a boutique, or if I went to a reseller. Like, I feel like in my case, I would lose my credibility with you guys. But for her, I don't feel like, you know, she's lost any credibility or anything like that, because she's not a luxury YouTuber, she's a lifestyle channel. So I feel like with lifestyle channels, it's not the same thing. Whereas I don't feel like she has to say that she got it from the boutique. I think it would be nice to say, hey, you know, I went to a reseller and I did get this from a reseller, because I really feel like that helps people understand, particularly if you share pricing. You know, so I was talking to a friend of mine who lives in France, and I was telling her about the mini Roulis, because she was like, when are you coming? I was like, I'll come at some point this year. And she was like, oh, don't get the Roulis from a reseller. The Roulis, even the mini Roulis, is a walk-in bag in most boutiques outside of Paris. So any big H boutique outside of Paris, she's convinced that I can be able to walk in and ask for the mini Roulis. Frankly, she was like, she thinks that it's a walk-in bag without spend. I was like, okay, let's see, you know. Because I was like, oh, I don't want to ask for the Roulis when I go to Paris this year, because then if you ask for the Roulis and then you're like, hello, can I have the mini Roulis and a Kelly, they'll give you the Roulis, so they don't have to give you one of their iconic bags, their words. So I thought it was really interesting for us to kind of just chat about this idea of getting things from the boutique. Does it matter? Does it not matter? You know how I feel about resale. I can't bring myself to buy resale. I definitely was tempted like a few weeks ago pertaining to the mini Roulis, because I did see a Rose Azoulay mini Roulis, brand new in box on Fashion File. It was going for under retail, but I just can't bring myself to buy an Hermes bag from a reseller. I know it's so hard to deal with the games that Big H plays, and you can wait ages for bags, and they can be quite hard to get. The mini sizes of all of the non-Quota bags are becoming more difficult to get. So the mini 24 is now hard to get. The mini Roulis is hard to get. So you see where I'm going with this. They're also making a mini Gypsy Air, so that's going to be really hard to get once that's finished. So like, I totally understand like how people feel about like maybe not necessarily saying that you got it from the boutique, like you maybe don't want to say that you went to a reseller, but I feel like for a bag like the Mini Kelly, I feel like you should be able to say like, hey guys, like I'm unboxing this Mini Kelly, and this isn't a critique on her, I'm talking generally, because that isn't the first time that I've seen people unbox things but not be clear about whether it's from the boutique or not. I know you're gonna be like, okay, well that means that it's a replica. No, I'm not talking about replicas, I'm not talking about fake bags. There are tons of Mini Kelly fake unboxings on YouTube. They are so terrible. Oh my god, I don't even want to talk about that stuff because it just makes me feel sick. I can't, I'm sorry. But like for example, like the people who influencers on TikTok, YouTube and Instagram who have purchased resale but won't say if the bag is from a reseller and won't say if it's from the boutique. Like I won't understand that, because I feel like that transparency of being able to say where you got your offer and how much you paid. If you don't, for example, I think in the Range Rover video, I told you guys how much was paid for the Range Rover, but I didn't say like the exact number, but I said a number, but I didn't say the full way the number is said in English, because, you know, it was a lot of money that was spent to buy the Range Rover. I still feel like with the Mini Kelly, people are spending a lot of money at resale, but you can still say like, for example, if you bought a Mini Kelly for $30,000, you can be like, I spent 30 on this. We all know that what you mean is you spent $30,000. Do you know what I mean? Or you spent £25,000. How much do you pay for this? I paid 25 for this. You know, we all know what that means. So I don't really understand why people can't say how much they spent on, like, for example, first of all, when people talk about Hermes, a lot of Hermes unboxings, people don't say the price and don't say how much it costs. That is something which I find quite odd. Maybe people feel a bit shy because they spent quite a bit on it and they think that they maybe overspent. Or maybe people don't want to be judged because they feel like, okay, I spent a lot of money on that. I don't want people to judge me that I went at resale and maybe I overpaid. But generally speaking, I do think that particularly if you have a YouTube channel, you should be able to say if you got it from the boutique or if you didn't get it from the boutique. I do think it's important. Definitely for me, I filmed so many Big H videos. I have chatted to tons of you guys about Big H. I went to Paris myself in January to try and score. Like if I score an Hermes bag from a reseller or from the boutique, it wouldn't be from a reseller because I'm not shopping resale, but you know what I'm saying. If I score an Hermes bag from the boutique and I don't tell you how much it costs, or I don't tell you that I got it from the boutique, I feel like my credibility with you guys would kind of be at risk, if that makes sense. What do you guys think about people who won't tell you if they got it resale or got it from the boutique? There are a lot of influencers who are buying Big H bags at resale and pretending that they're boutique offers. That is like one of the dirty secrets of luxury YouTube. You guys send me videos all the time of people who definitely didn't get a boutique offer. And you can always tell when someone didn't get a boutique offer because it's like, really, they don't want to talk about the ins and outs of the way the bag was offered. They just want to be like, hey guys, I just got this, you know, Mini Kelly too, and they don't want to necessarily talk about things in detail. So I'd love to know what you guys think about that, and what are your thoughts on that. It's just super interesting watching her video. So after that, then another video came up of hers, and she's really good at clickbait, so I watched that video. But that video was like, it had a really clickbaity title. It was like something like a vulnerable and honest chat or something. So after I watched the Mini Kelly portion of that feed, I was like, let me just watch this because it has a really clickbaity title. I'm sure it's just clickbait, but let me click on it anyway. And she had, I think, was talking about privacy and the concept of privacy. I think she's like buying a new house or something. And she was talking about people, I think she was referencing people knowing like where she lived. And it was really interesting because in the comments, people were like, okay, but you've tweeted out your address before, so why are you like kind of talking about privacy and, you know, basically talking about privacy. And she was basically kind of inferring that, you know, people had maybe violated her privacy by knowing where her house is and stuff. And it was really interesting because it got me thinking about the privacy that you have as a YouTuber or influencer or blogger. And like I said, I don't see myself as an influencer whatsoever, you know, but definitely as I'm getting more of a following now for this YouTube channel and even for my blog, you know, of course people are going to be curious about certain things about you. I guess for here it's very different. Like here, even if you knew where someone lived, if they live in an affluent place where they have armed security like we do, for example, we have 24/7 security guards, like, even if someone knows where you live, I mean, what are they going to do? Are they going to just rock up to your crib and try and enter your house when you have armed security, you have dogs, you have all kinds of security in your property? In a way, it doesn't even really matter that they know, because you have, it doesn't even really matter that they know where you live because you have security. Like, in a lot of African countries, we have security guards who are on the property. We have guard dogs. You guys, I have guard dogs. We have all kinds of security measures anyway in the house. So does it matter? I don't say what neighborhood I live in Dar, but it's not hard to figure out where I live, like, in Dar whatsoever. If you've met me, if you know me, you know where I live. But it's, I don't know how to explain it, but here it's very different. You can't set someone up if you don't know them personally. Like, people who are set up here are set up by people who know them personally, like people who've been into your house, people who are your friends, your acquaintances, or people who have worked for you or something. They're the people who will set you up. It won't be someone watching a YouTube video being like, okay, she unboxed this, or she has a Range Rover, I'm now going to follow her Range Rover and I'm going to, carjack her Range Rover. That's not how it works here. I don't know how, things are in Europe right now, because obviously I haven't lived in Europe for a very long period of time. But here, if an influencer says where they live, like, that's not even the issue, because someone who is watching that person's videos but doesn't know them wouldn't be able to set them up. The people who could set them up are, like, maybe the housekeeper or the janitor or the gardener or someone who knows them, like, personally. So it was really interesting to hear her kind of chat about that, because people in the comments were like, well, you tweeted your address out, so why are you talking about this? Because you tweeted it out. So it seems that she had tweeted her postcode out. And in the UK, if you're not from the UK, in Britain they have postcodes, and obviously when I was living in the UK, like, if you know someone's postcode, that doesn't necessarily mean you know exactly, like, the number of their house or their crib or whatever, but it would be very easy to find someone. When you know someone's postcode, you can easily find them. I think that influencers have a right to privacy, but I also think if you monetize your personal life, you need to be willing to accept that if you're making money from your personal life, the way lifestyle influencers do, people do feel like they have a right to your personal life. As a marketer, like I've never monetized my personal life. I will never film a video saying, like, for example, like, if I have a baby, I will never film a video saying I'm pregnant. If I am going through something personal, I'm never going to come on here and film a personal video, only because for me, there are boundaries with this channel, and it's really important to have boundaries. It's so funny because when I first started taking the channel seriously, my mum thought it was hysterical that I had this channel, because she was like, you're so private and you're so shy. And it's true, I'm a very shy, private person. I'm deeply private. I don't like everyone in my business, okay? My family know what time it is. Don't be all up in my business, okay? Mind your business, okay? That's the way I'm like. So she thought it was so funny that I had this channel, because she thought I was going to be like a personal vlogger. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to be vlogging my personal life. I'm going to be talking about luxury brands and luxury fashion. She's like, oh, okay, that's like stuff you love, So I feel like if you're a lifestyle influencer and you're like, monetizing your personal life, and lifestyle influencers basically monetize their personal life. They show you their marriage, they show you their relationships, they show you how much money they spend, they tell you their income, they tell you, many things like about themselves, which most people wouldn't be, talk about. Most people won't come on the internet and talk about their marriages. Most people won't come on the internet to talk about how much money they make, A lifestyle influencer does that because they have monetized their personal life. There's nothing wrong with that. I just want to be clear. There are a lot of lifestyle influencers that I watch. I don't watch their vlogs. I watch their unboxings, whom I think are great. But when you start monetizing your private life, that is when privacy becomes a very interesting topic, and whether you actually have the right to expect privacy. I remember a while ago I was talking to a friend. The friend asked me a very private question. It doesn't matter what the question is. I'm not going to say it. It was such a private question. I'm bristling just thinking about it. And the friend asked me, like, can I ask you this question? I was like, okay. And they asked me a really private question. I actually was really uncomfortable with being asked that question. And I answered the question, although what I should have said was, hey, you know what? I think that's like probably just a bit too private for me. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to answer the question. That's really what I should have said. And I do that now. Like a few weeks ago as well, I was asked a really private question by someone. And I just told the person, like, I'm sorry, like, I'm not going to answer that question. Like, I hope you're not offended. And it had nothing to do with my YouTube channel. It was like, this is all like people who know me personally. So I think like creating those boundaries and having boundaries is really, really important. And that's something that I've learned. And if anything, I think this YouTube channel has taught me a lot about boundaries. There's certain things on this channel you're never going to see. I'm just never going to film those videos. Not because, like I'm, you know, I think I'm too good or I think I'm better than those people. No, it's not like that. I just have boundaries, and I think that this channel is about luxury brands, luxury fashion, luxury shopping, luxury in general. It's not about selling my personal life to you. My husband is in my videos like very, very, very rarely, like every now and then you'll see him. But even with your partner, your husband, your boyfriend and stuff, like you need to kind of agree, I think, before you do YouTube and blogging and influencing, like how much your partner, your spouse, your boyfriend will be featuring into your videos. So like Edwin and I, we agreed that he would be in it if he was comfortable. And sometimes, you know, if he's like, cool, let's film together. There's a video I'm working on that I'd love for him to be in, and he was like, cool, just let me know like 2 days before so mentally he can be in the mind frame to be filmed. Not everyone wants to be on camera. You know, I'm happy to turn on the camera and talk to you guys, but not everyone wants to have a camera in their face. And I think for us as YouTubers, we really need to respect that. So in my husband's case though, like he's happy to be on camera and to be filmed. You'll know his name, and it's not a big deal. I think because my videos are in English, I do think that is a big reason why my husband doesn't mind. I feel like if they were in Swahili, it would be a different thing, if that makes sense. With your romantic partner, your boyfriend, your husband, I think you need to make that decision basically if they're going to be filmed or not, if you're going to show their faces or not. The reason why I showed my husband's face basically from the beginning was because I didn't want there to be any questions about who my husband was and for there to be a lot of like interest in him. And I think because literally from the beginning days of this channel, I've said Edwin's name, he's been on camera. Like there isn't that like, oh, who's her husband? Who's her husband? It's just, oh, that's Edwin, her husband, he's there. Whereas I feel like in some other people's channels, and trust me, I understand and I respect why they do this. They don't film their partner, but then you hear the partner's voice or you hear their husband's voice talking, and you hear the person's boyfriend saying this and this and this, but you don't see their face. So I think privacy is a very interesting concept. Every YouTuber has to take their own kind of stance on the issue. I think it's just a really interesting concept. I think if you are watching this and you're thinking about doing like YouTube and you're thinking about doing luxury YouTube, you need to make a decision like before you start about whether you're going to film with your husband or your boyfriend, and you need to decide if you're going to monetize your personal life. I'm not monetizing my personal life, okay? I only come here to talk about luxury shopping and luxury YouTube. That is it. I don't talk about like my personal life. I don't monetize my personal life. That's not the point of this channel. But some people do that, and then they have to deal with the issues of privacy. So it's a really interesting discussion. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. I hope you'd consider please subscribing, joining my Facebook group is linked below. The Facebook group is really worth you joining, so make sure you go join it. It's really interesting. I would love to hear your opinions on all of our hot topics today. I know you love dragging videos, so there's a dragging video coming tomorrow on Saturday. You're gonna love that one, honey. Hermes, of course, as usual, being dragged really, really hard. I mean, at this point, Hermes doesn't have pony hair left because they're constantly being dragged. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow in my next video.